My name is Sarah, and I'm 21. I need to tell you about something that's been with me my entire life. Something I used to think was harmless. Something I called a friend. His name is Jack. According to my parents, I've had Jack since I was a toddler, maybe 2 or 3. They always said I had a very real, imaginary friend. But the way they said it, even back then, had this edge to it, this unease. Because Jack wasn't like other kids' imaginary friends. My mom told me that when I was little, I would have full conversations with him. Not just talking to myself, but actual back and forth conversations. She said she could hear me pause, like I was listening to responses. Sometimes she'd walk into a room and feel like someone had just left, like the air was still disturbed, still warm from another presence. My dad remembers it too. He told me about this one time when I was maybe 5. He was watching me from the kitchen window, and I was in the backyard on this old zip line we had. I was pushing the handle back and forth, swinging it like someone was on it. But here's the thing, my dad said he could see the zip line sagging, like there was actual weight on it. He went outside to check on me, and when he got there I looked up at him and said, "Jack wanted to turn." My dad said the zip line was still swaying, still weighted down, even though I was standing right next to him. That's when my parents started to realize that maybe Jack wasn't so imaginary after all. Things got worse after my parents split up. I was 6. Me and my mom moved to a new house with her new partner, and that's when I stopped playing with Jack. That's when it showed up. There was something in my room, something that stood in the corner every single night. I remember lying in bed, frozen, staring at this dark figure that would just stand there, watching me. Sometimes it would move closer. Sometimes I'd wake up and it would be right next to my bed, leaning over me. I would scream. Night after night I would scream until my mom came running. She'd turn on the lights and it would be gone. But I knew it had been there. I could still feel it. My mom tried everything. She cleansed my room with sage, brought in people to bless the house, rearranged my furniture, even let me sleep with all the lights on. Nothing worked. That thing kept coming back, night after night, tormenting me. I asked for Jack during that time. I remember crying for him, begging him to make it stop, but he was gone. Or at least he wasn't helping me anymore. Then one day, as suddenly as it started, the spirit in my room just left. I woke up one morning and the heaviness in my room was gone. The corner was empty. I could breathe again. Around that same time, Jack came back. My parents noticed I started talking to him again. My dad said he'd hear me having conversations as I was falling asleep, my voice soft and happy, like I was catching up with an old friend. My mom said I never really played alone anymore. There was always this sense that someone else was there with me. As I got older, I stopped feeling Jack's presence as strongly. There were nights I could sense something there, watching over me, but I convinced myself it was my little sister or maybe my grandma checking in. My little sister died when she was just a baby. My grandma passed when I was 12. Both of them felt like guardian angels, like they were looking out for me. I wanted to believe that's all it was. Then I met my boyfriend, Tom. We've been together for 7 months now, and from the moment we moved in together, everything changed. We lived in my university house for 3 months first. Everything was fine there. But then we moved in with my mom in my hometown, and that's when the activity started up again. Tom started waking up with bruises, random ones in places that didn't make sense. Dark purple marks on his arms, his shoulders, his back. We joked about it at first. Then the scratches started appearing. Long, thin scratches that looked like fingernails had dragged across his skin, and they always came in 3s. 3 parallel lines, perfectly spaced, like something had deliberately marked him. That didn't feel right. Maybe it's the sheets, Tom suggested. Maybe there's something sharp on the bed frame. But we checked. We checked everything. The sheets were fine. The bed frame was smooth. There was nothing that could have caused those marks, and they kept appearing. More bruises. More scratches. Always in groups of 3. My mom has her own attachment spirits that have followed her for years, so I hoped that maybe moving to my dad's house would calm things down. It didn't help. The other night was my little sister's birthday. She would have been 14. It's always an emotional day. Tom and I went to bed that night feeling raw. I was crying softly, and as we were drifting off to sleep, I felt it. A hand on my head. It was gentle, comforting, like someone was trying to soothe me. The touch felt warm and loving, and in that moment I genuinely believed it was my little sister. That she was there letting me know she was okay. But then Tom gasped beside me. "Sarah," he choked out, his voice tight with panic. "Sarah, I can't move." I turned to look at him, and his face was pale, his eyes wide with fear. He said the entire right side of his body had gone numb, completely numb, like someone was sitting on him. There was this heavy, crushing weight pressing down on him. I grabbed his hand with both of mine and started rubbing his arm, trying to get the feeling back. "It's okay," I kept saying, even though I was terrified. "It's okay, just breathe." It took maybe 2 or 3 minutes before the sensation started to fade. The numbness receded, and Tom could move again. But he was shaking, and so was I. The next morning, we found 3 more bruises on his shoulder. Dark, angry-looking marks, perfectly spaced in a line. I called my mom and told her what happened. The second I finished explaining, her face dropped. She looked genuinely frightened, which scared me even more. "Sarah," she said quietly, "whatever was in that room with you, it was comforting you, but it was attacking Tom. Do you understand what that means?" I did. I just didn't want to admit it. Jack is possessive. All these years, I thought he was my protector. But now I'm starting to realize that Jack doesn't want to share me. He doesn't like that. I'm happy. and he's making sure Tom knows it. I can feel his presence now, more clearly than I have in years. I know exactly where he is. He sits on the shelf above our bed, watching us. I can feel his eyes on us when we sleep. Tom is terrified, but he's trying to be strong for me. I've tried everything. I've burned sage. I've lit joss sticks. I've tried ignoring him. But he's still there. The scratches keep appearing. The bruises keep forming, always in threes. Part of me wonders if I brought this on myself by acknowledging him again. Or maybe Jack never really left. Maybe he's been there this whole time, waiting. My mom says I need to be firm with him. Tell him he needs to leave. But how do you say goodbye to something that's been with you your entire life? And honestly, I'm scared of what he might do if I try, because I remember that dark thing in my room when I was 6. It disappeared right when Jack came back. What if Jack was the one who made it leave? What if he was protecting me? Or what if Jack was that thing, and I just didn't realize it? Last night, Tom woke me up at 3 a.m. He was sitting up, staring at the shelf where I know Jack sits. "Sarah," he whispered, "there's someone up there." "I know," I said. "Can you see him?" I looked up at the shelf. I couldn't see anything with my eyes, but I could feel him, that familiar presence. "No," I admitted. "But I know he's there." Tom turned to look at me, and in the dim light I could see tears in his eyes. "What does he want, Sarah?" I didn't have an answer. Or maybe I did, and I just didn't want to say it out loud. He wants me to himself. He wants Tom gone, but I can't let that happen. Tom is the love of my life. He deserves to feel safe in his own bed. So I'm going to try something. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to Jack directly for the first time in years. I'm going to thank him for being there for me, for keeping me company. And then I'm going to tell him it's time to go. I don't know if it will work. I don't know if he'll listen. The lonely little girl who needed an imaginary friend doesn't exist anymore. I've grown up. I've found happiness. And I refuse to let Jack take that away from me. Tonight I'm going to stand in our room and speak to that empty shelf. I'm going to ask him to leave us in peace. Tom is scared. I'm scared too. But we can't keep living like this. Whatever happens next, I'll update you. But right now, feeling Jack's presence watching me from that shelf, I'm more terrified than I've ever been. Because I'm about to say goodbye to something that's been with me for 19 years. And I have no idea if it's going to let me go.